It's 3 o'clock on the East Coast, noon on the West Coast. I'm Shepard Smith, and the answer to the question is what the president is talking about is, in fact, illegal. Moments ago, the president talked about the idea to take undocumented immigrants and release them into sanctuary cities where mostly Democrats are in charge. The top Democrat in Congress, the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, calls that idea disrespectful and an idea unworthy of the presidency. President Trump tweeted today, and I'm quoting, "Due to the fact that Democrats are unwilling to change our very dangerous immigration laws, we are indeed, as reported, giving strong considerations to placing illegal immigrants in sanctuary cities only. The radical left always seems to have open the White House asked immigration officials whether this would be possible. And here's the answer. U.S. immigration officials under President Trump responded that doing so would be illegal. The Washington Post first reported that President Trump is considering this proposal during his ongoing battle with Democrats over funding for his border wall. Sanctuary cities are communities and states where local officials do not cooperate with federal immigration authorities. 5 states are sanctuary states, and there are hundreds of sanctuary cities across America, including San Francisco, the home city of the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Critics say the plan is nothing but an effort to use migrants as pawns to go after political opponents. The chief White House correspondent John Roberts is with us. He's live at the White House. John, do we have a sense yet whether the president is aware that what he's now discussing is against the law?
Yeah, he definitely does. I just got out of the Roosevelt room with the president. I was fortunate enough to get a couple of questions to him, one on that and then another one on whether or not he'll ask for more troops on the border. The White House was told by the Department of Homeland Security, specifically Immigration and Customs Enforcement, some time ago, that they're not able to do what the president was thinking about doing. I think they first started thinking about it back in November, then again in February, because it runs up against laws regarding immigration enforcement authority and the detention and release of illegal migrants. It also runs up against appropriations authority as well, that ICE just doesn't have the money to be able to send busloads of people from the border up to sanctuary cities like San Francisco and others. So the president has been given an opinion by ICE that it can't be done. But the president, on occasion, looks at those opinions and says, okay, well, that's one person's opinion. Now let's see if we can find a way around it. And that may be where the president's thinking is going right now, because until this morning, this really kind of was in the realm of aides that had been talking about it. I was told that it wasn't even Stephen Miller's idea. The Democrats believe that Stephen Miller is responsible for every immigration idea that comes along. But this particular one, I'm told, was not Stephen Miller. But it had just been talked about, and then the Department of Homeland Security had been asked to render an opinion on it. But then the president, in that tweet earlier today, made it official White House policy. And as you heard just a couple of minutes ago in the Roosevelt room, the president said he is strongly considering taking illegal migrants from the border and moving them to either sanctuary cities or sanctuary states. Here's what the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi thought about that whole idea. Listen here.
I don't know anything about it, but again, it's just another notion that is unworthy of the presidency of the United States and disrespectful of the challenges that we face as a country, as a people, to address who we are, a nation of immigrants.
Now, the story that first appeared in the Washington Post today said that the White House was pressuring the Department of Homeland Security and ICE to carry this out. Matt Albence, who was the acting deputy secretary at the time the opinion was asked for, is now the acting administrator of ICE, issued the following statement this morning, quote, "As the acting deputy, I was not pressured by anyone at the White House on this issue. I was asked my opinion and provided it, and my advice was heeded. The email exchange is clear, and suggesting that it indicates inappropriate pressure is inaccurate." So up until now, the White House position has been that they simply asked DHS and ICE for an opinion. but the president seems to be pushing it further. And then in the political realm of things, we have this statement from Hogan Gidley a short time ago. Democrats say we must have open borders and that illegal immigrants have a right to be in this country at all costs. So they should be working with the administration to find the best ways to transport those illegal aliens that are already set for release into communities in their states and in their districts. The official line from the White House, Shep, is that this is about taking the pressure off of southern communities. But I think there's a certain element of, well, if they're not going to cooperate with us, let's stick it to them. Shep?
All right, John, thank you. There's some cleaning up that needs to be done here. The fact is, no Democrat, not one in Congress or otherwise, has called for open borders. And as far as sanctuary cities go, there are actually 5 sanctuary states. California, Oregon, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Vermont are all sanctuary states. And on top of that, there are 127 sanctuary cities. But the law is clear. You can't do this. Let's bring in the Fox News Sunday anchor, Chris Wallace. Given that, Chris, is this a talking point for the day? Is this an effort to change the news cycle or change the narrative? Or what is this? Do we know?
Well, we don't know. I have a suspicion, which I'll give you in a second. But let's go back. Remember, this is a story that was broken last night by the Washington Post. The fact we didn't know it until last night, that twice, once last November, once in February during the whole shutdown crisis, that the White House suggested to the ICE, to the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, hey, let's take some of those migrants at the border, people that are in detention and have to leave, and let's put them on buses. Think about this. Put them on buses and send them to sanctuary cities all the way up the coast of California to San Francisco. Dump them on the streets. Take them all the way into the Northeast, as you pointed out, to Rhode Island or Connecticut, and dump them on the street. And twice, ICE said, you can't do it. 1, we don't have funding to do it. 2, we don't have the buses to do it. 3, there's liability. What if there's an accident? What if somebody gets sick or hurt? All kinds of reasons why they couldn't do it. And the White House came back last night and said, look, this is an idea that was floated and was rejected, and that was the end of it. They also flatly denied that there was any effort of political retaliation here. Now, suddenly, quite a surprise to, I think, everybody, the president this afternoon comes out with a tweet and says, oh, no, this isn't over. I'm seriously considering it. And you saw him say in that press availability just now, I am seriously considering this. They want open borders. They want people there. We'll give them people, which sure sounds like political retaliation. Here's my guess, and it is only a guess. Take it for what it's worth. This will never happen. This is the president saying, we're not going to cower and try to pretend we didn't really do this. I'm going to double down and suggest it. My base will like it. But will it ever happen? I would be shocked.
It's a push for wall funding, which isn't coming. There's no political pressure that's going to bring wall funding, at least according to the Democrats in Washington. The funding comes from the House of Representatives. The Democrats are in control of the House. They make decisions about the funding. That's not going to happen. So